Hello, today I'll be talking about challenges and struggles international students or internationals face in the UK generally. I am an international student also living and studying here in the UK. I'm currently doing my PhD. I've done my master's program here in the UK as well. So I've been in the UK for quite a while. And these are some of the challenges I also went through, and I'll be sharing how I sort of navigate that, and hopefully that might assist you. And if you are an international student already in the UK or an international living in the UK, kindly consider, leaving your thoughts or sharing your thoughts in the comment section if this challenges, if you also experience it and how you dealt with it, or if there are other challenges I must have not spoke about in this video. So if you are a returning subscriber, thank you for returning. If you are a returning viewer, thank you for returning to engage with my content. And if you are new to the channel, kindly consider subscribing, as I believe you are going to get massive value. So let's dive straight into it. So the first challenge I would say is ability to hear them when they speak. Okay, so ability to hear a British when he or she speaks. And this is something you probably face from the airport. Okay, the immigration officer might probably be asking you some question, basic question when you're trying to enter a country, and you might be struggling to hear what he or she is saying, and you might be like, what's this person saying? Huh? And guess what? Don't be shy to ask him or her to come again, because he or she knows that you are not from here. You are new to this country, so you might probably not hear what he or she is saying. And so don't be afraid to ask them to repeat themselves. Also, another thing you can do is let your listening, all your listening attention and all your listening senses, try to pay it to what he or she is saying. And you can also look at the lips, the way the lips is moving, to sort of decode what he or she is saying. And guess what? You're also going to sort of face this while studying, because some of the lecturers are going to be British, or even they might be foreigners, but they've sort of naturalized here in the UK, and their speech might sort of become British-like, if you like. So you need to ask questions, tell them to come again, even in class. Try to listen well. So don't try to get distracted while in class. Sometimes I also struggle with, hearing, and what I do is I try to listen, attentively. This is when they say try to listen attentively, you need this when you're studying and when you're trying to listen to a British when speaking. So number two is that, wait for it, this is not sort of a challenge, but I sort of want to put it in. And it is the fact that British like to talk about the weather. Okay? And do you know how it becomes a challenge? Probably when you are in the bus and you're trying to focus on something, I don't know, maybe something's on your mind or thereabout, and someone starts, sort of trying to chat out with you, because they like to chat a lot, and trying to talk to you about the weather, and you'll be like, what's he saying? What's the weather? I don't know what you're talking about, right? So it's not really a challenge. However, it is something for you to take note of, because you will hear a lot of talk about the weather, okay? And that's just a way of life here in the UK. So the second challenge that I'll talk about, I just thought to put that in, is the food, okay? Food, source of energy. We need it to live, to breathe, okay? And to be active, and to do well in school, and to be an healthy human being, right? But you will discover that most of British food is sort of bland, okay? That is, it's not always spicy, okay? If you are not someone that is used to, eating spicy food, it might be okay. But guess what? Even if you are not used to spicy food, you will still find it to be so bland, okay? And one major meal, okay, that I know that a lot of people complain about, which I also complained about, is the bread. Oh my God, lovers of bread. Bread is bland, like it doesn't have any sugar, it has no taste. And that's how most of their food are. So you need to be careful. If you want to sort of try British food, know that it's not spicy, know that it's bland. If you're buying the bread, know that the bread is bland. So, but if you're someone that does not like sugar, that like it bland, then good for you. But one thing you can do for bread is I eat broach bread when I feel like eating bread that is quite tasty. Broach bread is my go-to bread, and they sell it majorly in Howdy. When you get to the UK, you hear about Howdy, and you can get broach bread in Howdy. I know they sell it in M&S as well. M&S has food, yeah. For some people, they'll be like, M&S, they sell only clothes. Yeah, they have food hall as well. So M&S sells broach bread. Aldi sells broach bread. Another bread you can buy is if you see African stores, they sell like our normal agege bread, sort of. You know what I mean? So you can buy that as well. And of course, what my own personal advice is, yes, you're going to be swamped with work and study when you start off, but try to create time to cook. Even if you're going to cook and sort of box it in the fridge and all of that, it's going to be better for you so that you don't spend so much money on what you can't even eat. Then another thing is, try anywhere you are in the UK, try to look for like um I would say a mid Asian sort of restaurant that sells burger and all of that, because I found out that some of the food that Asians sell, okay, if you are not from Asia, if you are from Africa or something, you can still eat some of their food, and those food are quite tasty. So, but like I said, try to cook, put it in the fridge, and you'll be good to go. Another struggle is accommodation. Yes, accommodation might be a struggle. And how can that be a struggle? For instance, if you're an international student, especially if you are probably married, or even if you're not married, even if you're single and you probably still stay at home with your parents, or even if you're not staying at home with your parents, you started working and you've rented a place back in Nigeria or back in your home country, and the place you stay is kind of comfortable, right? When I say comfortable, probably you stay in, even what's the smallest place one can stay? Maybe like a studio, right? Back home, we don't know what a studio is. We call it like mini flat in Nigeria, and I don't know what it's called in other part of the world. But that's like just a room and like a sitting room, a living room. So you have your room where you sleep, and you have a living room, then you have your kitchen, and you have your bathroom and all of that. That's like the mini flat kind of thing. But if you are married, maybe you stay in a 2-bedroom apartment and all of that. Guess what? If you are coming to the UK and you are coming alone, if you're not coming with your family, you might probably not get a mini flat. You will probably get a studio. Okay, so a studio is basically the same room, has your kitchen, has your bathroom, has your living room and all of that, and it might not be quite big like what you are used to, okay, but it will be a bit comfortable because you have your study area as well. Even if you are staying in a shared flat or a shared apartment here in the UK, one thing I like is you don't you don't you share bathroom, you can share kitchen, but the room is just for you. It's not like an hostel. When you hear shared apartment, when you are coming, it's not like an hostel, like that hostel that 2 4 people stay in a room. No, everybody stays in a room, but you might probably be sharing the kitchen and sharing the toilet, and the amount you're going to probably be renting it is probably, if you try to convert it to your own country money, like as a Nigerian, if you try to convert it to Naira, it might be ridiculous. You'll be like, this is the amount I pay for rent in like 2 years or 1.5 years. What's wrong? This is what I'll pay for 1 month. That's just that's just how it is. It is a struggle. But if you have a family anyway, in the UK, there's a sort of a rule that you cannot stay in a shared apartment, sort of, if you have a family. That is, if you have a spouse and a kid. If you have a spouse, you can still get like a mini flat, like a room and a living room, okay? But if you have kids, even if it's one child, you need a 2-bedroom apartment. That's a struggle. You'll be like, I can live in a mini flat with my child. But hey, that's not allowed. In fact, if you want to try and do it, except if you don't declare to your landlord that you have a child, because most landlord, they sort of take history of you, your family, and all of that. So, and the amount of money you might be paying for it might be a bit high, but it is what it is. It's part of the challenges and struggles we face here, and uh, we are coping. But don't worry, as I've coped, people have coped, you will cope as well. So another challenge that I would sort of mention is the feeling of homesickness. So if you come to the UK, to live or study, you are not here with your family. Even if you have your immediate family, maybe if you are married, it's just gonna be you and your wife and your kids. There's no family that will come and visit you. There's no Owambe on Saturdays or Sundays. For those from Nigeria, they know how Owambe is, but those from other part of the world, there are no parties, that you can go to, meet family, meet friends, and all of that. Not so much of that is here in the UK. However, one thing I would say is that don't let that feeling sort of make you depressed. Don't let that feeling weigh you down. Look for people from your country within the city that you are, or within the town that you are. If you're from Nigeria, look for the Nigerian community. There'll probably be a WhatsApp group somewhere going on that there are different, Nigerians there. If you're from Ghana, the same thing. If you are from India, the same thing. Always look for people from your country. So, once in a while, you guys might, sort of meet up. Like, for instance, me, I've moved quite a bit in the UK, right? So, where I live presently in the UK, there are different nationalities there. And for Nigerian, we have this WhatsApp group that we chat once in a while. We visit, once in a while, we visit each other, for people that you get close to, within the WhatsApp group. And every sort of big celebration like Independence Day and all of those, we have like a get together. Sometimes on weekends we can just say, okay, let's go to an outdoor place to just unwind, and we sort of meet together, pull cars together, and we take each other there, and we spend time together like that. So that way you can come off the feeling of homesickness, and with that I believe you are going to be good to go. Another thing is there's WhatsApp anyway, so you can always call your family back home, with your WhatsApp. For people that don't have WhatsApp, let me give you a trick. There are, different platforms that you can sort of download some app that you can use to call your country with, minimal amount of money, right? The one I know of that I use also is Libon. There's another one. This is not a paid advert anyway. There's another one. Even Leica Mobile. So Leica Mobile is like, our MTN, Airtel or something back in Nigeria. So there's Leica Mobile, and Leica Mobile has a very pretty good Nigerian subscription plan that you can use to call them, that is not that expensive. I think with £10 you can have like maybe 120 minutes or something. And I understand that they also have some plan that is probably even cheaper than that, which you can find out. And so with that, I hope that can assist you to get the feeling of homesickness. And lastly, what I would talk about just briefly is, if you are studying, if you're an international student and you're studying, is assessment. Okay, there's a shocker, because here in the UK now, depending on the kind of course you're going to be doing, you might have mixture of exams and essays. In fact, there are some courses that is just essays. So you just write essay and you submit, and that's what they will mark you on. Okay. Do group assignments. In fact, do recording. The way I'm recording this YouTube video, do recording and you submit, and they will grade you on that. I've also been involved in some of that. So this is a struggle because, for instance, if you're from Nigeria, okay, this is where I'm from and I know this very well. We typically, do exams. Our assignments are, they are not essays. Now, depending on the course you're doing, right, they're just maybe like, if you're an engineering, a STEM background like me, it's just solve, and they'll give you some, go read, and you just read and you just write, blah, 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 and you submit. There's no plagiarism check, there's nothing. But here in the UK, there is what they call plagiarism check. Most universities, if not all universities in the UK, use what we call Turnitin, and that's what they use to check plagiarism. What does that mean? It simply means that if you copy someone else in the class, or if you go and look for one project online, one essay online, and you just copy it, if you submit it through Turnitin, it will flag it. And if you have more than, I think each university, each department, have their points that they look. Some they will say 5% is allowed, 20% plagiarism is allowed, 10% plagiarism is allowed. So it depends on your course, it depends on your school and all of that. So, but you must not go overboard. If you're entering like 30, 40, you might be called up by the university, ethics committee to face a panel. So when they say you should do essay, you want to take your time, it's a struggle. You want to take your time to read, okay? You read articles, and you summarize it in your own words, not writing that way. If you are really interested, let me know in the comment section. I can do, a video on which I'll, share on my screen, how you can sort of summarize your write-up so that you don't fall into plagiarism wahala. So that's all I have for you today. Thank you for listening to the end. Don't forget, pause this video if you have not subscribed. To subscribe, press that red subscribe button. Thank you so much for doing that. And if you have already subscribed, thank you. Don't forget to also leave a comment below to let me know what you really like as in part of this video, and what you would like me to talk about if there is any. And also, if you've gone through this phase also, already living in the UK, let me know in the comment section. Let people learn from you, and I'll see you in the next video. Ciao.